Dream, 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 dream. Dream, dream, dream when I want you.
Well, my mother's Alice Schleicher, and her career aspirations when she was a young girl was actually to be a missionary and to have a singing career. And as she grew older and she decided she wanted to be a missionary, she wanted to sing for Billy Graham. But when the opportunity arose for her to actually go to New York, her father said no way. His young baby was not going to New York City. So at that point she decided, I guess she met my father and decided that she wasn't going to be a singer or be a missionary. She was going to get married and start a family. So in 1977, I would have to say that her life changed for the better. My brother came home and said, hey, I want to buy the restaurant. It's a training restaurant, and KFC wants to sell it. Let's buy it. Well, my father's he's a graduate of Purdue University, and he was a full-time engineer, worked for the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers. And so the home that we lived in, the farm we lived on, was actually from his parents. And they were able to use that as collateral for the first restaurant. So there was a huge risk there, putting up, everything that you have for a bank loan for collateral.
Well, it's one for the money, two for the show, three to get ready. Now go, cat, go, but don't you.
Well, when I first met Alice in the mid-'80s, women were just getting, established in the business world. And she was really one of the first women franchisees to take on any leadership roles, and that's what I always admired about Alice.
I knew she was going to be successful because she had such a great work ethic. I'd always tell my friends, I said, my mom works half days. And they'd say, oh yeah, she only works 4 or 5 days, you own your own business. I said, no. I said, my mom works 12 hours a day at the restaurant. I said, and then she comes home and she did all of her payroll, accounts payable, she did all that on top of the washer and dryer for her 2 restaurants when she first got started. So I tell people, you have to have a strong work ethic. There is no substitute for hard work.
To have someone like Alice from day one become a successful first 1-store operator and then 5-store operators took a lot of the men that have been around a while by surprise.
She was an entrepreneur when women weren't recognized as being business people.
We were at an event together, and I started singing and Alice started singing, and we looked at one another, and I just was thrilled. Here's this very important, special person, arguably the most important person, she and her husband, at the dinner that evening, singing with me in the lobby this special song. And so I've never forgotten that, never. It's made an eternal imprint and impression on me. She brings to the table this sense of passion because of the music. It's coming from her soul. And it's one of the things that I've really come to admire about Alice. She can be playing with her grandkids, which I know she does, with the piano, or she could be playing with the president of a college, which I've seen her do, singing together. It's all the same. It emanates from her in a very, very special way. It's something that's just Alice Schleicher.
Alice's spirit is contagious, and I've learned to have patience along with perseverance. It takes both of those things to accomplish anything. I've also learned to dress well, wear my jewelry properly, and
I can remember working Friday nights with Alice, and she's calling the shots in the store. She's slinging chicken just like she's one of the employees. And the employees notice that.
When she deals with you as if you're the most important person in the world at that time. Obviously, if everybody was like Alice, we wouldn't have any wars, we wouldn't have any problems. I mean, it's just, the woman is just full of true love. And that's why we need more Alices, but we're not going to get more Alices. She's a very special person.
Alice has a wonderful history with this church. As a matter of fact, she started attending this church before she was born because her mom and dad brought her to this church, and then this is the place where she was christened as a baby. And so this really has been her church all of her life. She's the real deal. When you see her, what you see on Sunday, you're also going to see on Monday and the entire week.
Everybody is important to her. I don't care if it's a busboy, if it's a cook, or if it's the president of a corporation. She really cares about each and every person. And so if she sees that they're having trouble, sick, or upset, she worries about that. She takes it upon herself to try to help them. So I think it's just something innate in her.
People know of Alice Schleicher. They know she's giving. They don't always know necessarily where she's giving. They know she's very, very philanthropic, but people don't necessarily know because she's very quiet about what she does.
I think it's very important that we have people like Alice in our world and in our community, because what we're seeing is compassion lived out, and the world needs that. It needs to see peace in a person's life. It needs to see a life of love. And it needs to see a person who knows what it is to love somebody else as they love themselves.
Alice has been very, very kind to Ivy Tech Community College over the years, whether that be her time, her talent, or her treasure. She once served on our foundation board statewide and was very, very involved in a number of ways through committees and board memberships. And then growing from that, creating scholarships, of which then later can be endowed, to give back to students in need, impacting their future, a legacy that continues through her late son, Douglas.
I know she's just been a huge supporter of Rita Hudson Shorts, the chancellor here, and there's a lot of times when it's really difficult for women to ascend to higher ranks, and she really was a believer in Rita and just told her she would support her in anything that she wanted to do. And
I think one of the long-term visions our chancellor has had for our campus is for us to introduce music, arts to our students. And that was something that Alice Schleicher early on decided that was something that she wanted to be a part of. She donated a piano to Ivy Tech Community College because she knew the new building had an auditorium. What is an auditorium without a piano?
she just likes to give back to the community. To whom much is given, much is required.
One of my favorite poets is Dr. James Forbes. He wrote a poem. I'll just share part of it, but it's entitled, Release Your Song. Thank God my song has been set free. The rhythm and words are right for me. My soul is ready to sing out strong. My soul is saying, this is my song. Alice, she's always singing her song. Her life is her song.